Welcome, friends, to our Tuesday practice titled Yoga Moving Forward. So for this month, we're learning about the traditional Chinese medicine liver meridian. And the liver meridian has two important roles. One of those roles is our stress regulator, and then the other role is supporting our digestive health. So let's move right into that stress. We know that stress reaction is complex, right? So just think there's a lot of moving parts with a stress reaction or a stress response, and that we can improve how we deal with our stress by learning about and interacting with the autonomic nervous system, right? So to keep it simple, there are two parts. There's really three. And those two parts are the sympathetic nervous system. So I want you to think fight or flight, move it, and the parasympathetic nervous system, which is that what we call that rest and digest. And when we learn to interact with the stress response wisely, so think titrating stress, and then when we learn to elicit that relaxation response, we can bring ourselves back into a balanced state consciously. Okay, friends, I have nicknamed this class, We Need Both. Okay, friends, welcome to class. I'm going to meet you on the mat. So for today, we're going to drop right down onto the back. All right, so come into that constructive rest pose. And those two parts of the nervous system, the sympathetic nervous system and the parasympathetic nervous system, are actually linked into our breathing. So let's focus on reducing the stress by extending the exhale, using that audible exhale as if you were blowing on a hot piece of food before you were going to eat it. And it sounds a little bit like a little whoo sound. All right, so that's a lot of words. Let's do 3 or 4. Breathe in. Just notice how that naturally slows down the exhale. Continue. Okay, pause here. Just check in with your internal world. Right? No judgments or criticisms, just becoming aware of what's here now. And then let's continue to use that who exhale for these next couple of movements. Okay, so here's that pelvic tilt. When you're ready to inhale, arch your back, lift your ribs, breathe in. Use that breath and allow your spine to drop into neutral. And repeat that one more time. Pause. And just check in. Maybe you notice some body sensation. And now let's reverse it. Breathe in. Lightly blow out and firm your lower back. Tilt your tailbone slightly up towards the ceiling. All right, sense that deep core stabilization, and then repeat that one more time. Okay, so we're going to continue with a few more somatic movements that help balance the nervous system. These are by Thomas Hanna. Just find a relaxing place with your arms. I tend to put them on my body, but you can place them by the sides of your body. Turn your attention to your right hip and keeping your pelvis down on the mat, slide your right hip up towards your right armpit. Okay, so it's a little side tilt. And then release when you're ready. Okay, do that 2 more times. Okay, pause. And then let's do a few on that left side. All right, so lifting that left hip towards that left armpit. You might notice the head starts to tilt towards the hip that's lifting. Just allow that natural organization to happen if that's happening. Okay, pause. All right, so you might notice that those are really small movements. And then just do one more side to side. Pause in the middle and then release if there's any extra holding. I find that when I'm doing that movement, my body braces a little bit. So see if you can release any extra tension that's arisen. And then we're going to drop right into a hip raise. So this one too is one side of the pelvis stays down while the other side of the pelvis lifts up. Okay, let's concentrate on the right side. Press the right knee forward and start to roll to your left hip. Right, you're going to start to feel the sensation on the inside of that hip. So that's right at the top or midsection of that liver line. It almost feels like a little bit of twisting. And then release it down slowly. Okay, do 2 or 3 more of these and give that area of your body your full attention. Right, just right. Notice what you're sensing. Okay, pause when you finish. All right, so here's the rest portion. Let's take a breath in and a relaxed breath out. Okay, let's find that hip raise on the other side. And press that left knee forward, left hip rolls up and in, shift the weight to the right hip so that you can sense the right hip pressing down and the left hip lifting up. Ease back down when you're ready. All right, so as you continue these movements, what's happening here is we're co-regulating both parts of that autonomic nervous system. All right, so we're moving, but we're moving in a relaxed way. Okay, pause. One more time, let your attention draw internally and just notice what's here. Okay, without getting carried away with the story, lift into a low bridge pose, right? So send both knees forward, send both hips upward. Right, and it's important to know that that sympathetic nervous system, a lot of that pathway starts in the spinal cord, right? So sense your spine lifting up, and then nice and easy, take a breath in here. And then as you exhale, lower your spine one disc at a time. So go slow, all right? Go slow. Tailbone lifts up just a little bit. Feel your abdominals hollowing out. Here's the most important part. When you get to the bottom, send your tailbone into the mat with a little back arch. And then the exhale allows the spine to go back into neutral. Okay, let's add to the progression. Lift up into your bridge. Send the right knee forward and the right hip up so you're tilting the bridge on that right side. Notice the sensation right at that little hip area. All right, so that's that liver pathway, that liver line. Release it back into neutral. Take a breath in. Okay, articulate it, lower it down slowly. When you get to the bottom, back arch with an inhale. Release into neutral. Okay, let's begin one more time. Press into bridge. Start to press that left knee forward, left hip comes up, so you're tilting the bridge. Notice where you feel it in the body. Ease back into neutral. Okay, notice if your hamstrings are gripping. See if you can soften those hamstrings. Take a breath in. Okay, articulate your spine down. Take your time. Back arch. And then release everything back into neutral. Just pause there for a moment. All right, so regulating that movement with stillness. Okay, let's continue on. Draw the right knee in towards your chest, and then place your left hand on your right knee, and then the right hand behind your head. So let's take a few rounds of this curl up by Thomas Hanna. Take a breath into your body. And then when you're ready to exhale, draw your knee in towards your body and your elbow towards your knee. Right? So think of this also as a little digestive care. And your in-breath will lower you down back into neutral slowly. Okay, make your way through 4 or 5. Just find a comfortable pace. And then once you've finished, release that foot down to the floor, let your hand drift by your side, slide that right heel all the way to the bottom of the mat. Okay, so let's stress the nervous system just a little bit here by creating a little bit of core strength. Okay, when you're ready to breathe in, soften through your belly. And when you're ready to breathe out, start to engage your abdomen. Lift your head straight up so you're hovering over the mat. Feel your deep core connection. Allow yourself to breathe lightly here. Maybe you reach your left hand down towards your left foot and then drag your right heel in a few inches, right? So your right knee is going to bend. Drag that right heel in, press through that right heel. Okay, so feel all that deep core connection. And then nice and easy, lower it down, release your hand, drag that right foot all the way in into that neutral place, and then let all of the tension relax from your body. And just take a breath here. Okay, let's begin the other side. Left knee comes in, right hand to knee, left hand behind the head. Okay, now explore this movement maybe 5 or 6 times. And so every time you have a little compression on your abdomen, think of that as digestive care. That seems about right. Let's release that left foot all the way down. Release your right arm to your side, so you're lengthening out through the hip flexor on the left. And now let's create a little bit of strength here. Take a soft inhale. Okay, as you exhale, start to firm your abdominals, lift your head straight up, right? So the gaze is towards the ceiling. And let your breath naturalize here. So just encourage yourself to breathe. You might notice the breath gets a little bit shallower and maybe a little faster. Okay, start to reach that right hand down towards that right foot. Start to drag that left heel in, right? So not all the way in, maybe just about halfway. Press down through that heel. Okay, start to notice the stress or tension that's showing up in your muscles here. And then ease all of that tension back down. Take your hand out from behind your head and then draw your feet together. Okay, just pause here for a moment. Right, so let your breath come back into an easy pace. Okay, so now we're going to drop into that inner thigh liver line. start to butterfly your knees out slowly. So maybe you go to the count of 5 as you drop your knees slowly down. So if your knees have the ability to go all the way to the sides, please don't do that. Just find maybe a 3/4 place. And for the rest of us, just wherever those knees kind of hover out to the sides. Okay, now once you've found your butterfly knees, allow your feet to be touching, right? So especially your heels, because we're going to use that. Inhale here. Exhale, squeeze your heels together. So squeeze your heels together, give it time so you can feel your buttock muscles engage, and then draw your knees slowly upward. When they get to the top, rest your leg muscles. Okay, so let that holding of tension release. And then let's try that again. Slowly out to the side. Don't worry about your breathing. It will find itself. Just go slowly, maybe to the count of 5 if that helps you slow down. Okay, let's create a little bit of stability for that mobility. Take a breath in. Squeeze those heels together. And then slowly draw the knees together. Right? Feel that deep core connection and strength of the legs. Release that holding energy at the top. So think rest my legs, rest and digest. And one more. Press the heels. Return to the top. Okay, now let's release out of that position. Roll directly to your belly. And if you have a blanket or that 2-inch block, you're going to find that a little helpful here. We're going to use the prop to support the pelvis as we come down onto the belly. So if you have that 2-inch block, you're going to place it on your hip bones. And if you have the blanket, you might want to put the blanket slightly above your hip bones. Right, so find your comfortable place to support your low back. The prop is also to add a little bit of compression for the digestion. Okay, so once you found the prop on the belly, lower all the way down. Right, maybe bend your elbows and rest your head. Let's start by lifting the right foot up. Okay, so you're going to lift the right foot up and then press your right knee into the earth. So press down first. Right, this exercise comes from Donna Farhi, and it relates to releasing and strengthening the psoas. So keep pressing that knee down. Notice what muscles are working. And then let's reverse it. Lift your knee up off of the earth. Take a breath in. And take a breath out. Okay, ease that knee back down. Lengthen that leg. And then let's drop right into the other side. Lift that left foot. It starts with a press down, so press that left knee down.
Right, notice where you feel it, that stabilizing muscles of the gluteals and the hip flexors. Okay, now let's start to change the sensation. Lift your left foot up, lift your left knee up. Make sure you're breathing. And then lower it down, lengthen it out. Right, so you might notice that the breathing gets a little bit shallow here. We're also introducing a little tiny back bend. Okay, let's have a little bit more of a challenge. Let your upper body come down with those goalpost arms. Press both knees into the earth as you lift your upper body. Okay, so I like to call this skydiver, right? So I like that sensation of you're floating in air. Okay, lift both heels up, press both knees down. Okay, that might be where your challenge ends, or maybe you start to lift both knees upward. Okay, so challenge appropriately. Notice where you feel it. Okay, let's ease out of this back bend shape and then shift into child's pose until your breath starts to come back into an even keel. Right, just remembering that the inhale is related to the sympathetic nervous system, and the exhale is related to the parasympathetic nervous system. So when you smooth both ends of those out, you're interacting with the whole autonomic nervous system. Okay, once you start to feel the breath normalize, allow your body to shift to all fours. And then once again, let's drop into that liver line by stepping the right leg out to the side. All right, so give yourself a moment. And then begin shifting your tailbone back and then shifting your tailbone forward. Okay, then maybe you change the trajectory. Send your tailbone back towards your left heel, and then send your tailbone towards your right heel. All right, so think about this as creating mobilization, right? A little bit of mobility through that pelvis area. Okay, linger in the descend down for a moment. So give yourself a moment to open through the groin. Okay, and then let's ease off of that stretch, come back through all fours. And then we're going to work a little bit of stabilization on that side.
Okay, here's how we're going to get there. Reach the left arm out to the side in a T shape or a half T shape. And then start to firm through your right hand and then lift your left knee up off of the mat. Okay, so give yourself a moment to find your stability here. All right, so this might be where you pause in the challenge, or you may be able to press that right foot behind you in this variation of spinal balance. All right, so wherever you are, just simply breathe lightly. Okay, release your arm and your leg. Shift back into child's pose or downward facing dog. All right, so find your neutral spine. Okay, now let's reverse out a different pathway. Come back through all fours. Send your right arm out to the side. Start to lift your left knee, so feel your core muscles engage. Okay, maybe you challenge or titrate that stress a little bit more by pressing that right foot behind you. Squeeze on your leg muscles. Breathe. Strength and stability. Okay, let's ease out of this shape. Step the left leg forward and wide. And then enjoy a little bit of mobilization. Just shift to the side and then backward to the side. And then the next time you ease forward, linger there, opening through that liver meridian on that inner groin area. All right, and notice if there's any tension and tightness there. Okay, let's ease out of this shape and let's take the body to standing. And then once you arrive in standing, let your legs be a little bit wide, and let's have that variation of coat swing where one arm swings to the top of the body and one arm swings to the lower back portion of the body. Okay, so find this little twisting arm motion. Right, so the twisting is digestive support, and you're also activating that liver meridian through the center of the body. Okay, let's release out of the movement. Draw your feet underneath your hips. And then let's press the right arm up to the ceiling and the left arm down. Okay, so here's a long line. Press in both directions, finding balance on both halves. And then side bend over to the left. Okay, keep pressing through your palms. Right, make sure you're breathing. Okay, now here's the stability. Come back into neutral. Reach both arms out into a T. Put a little bend in your knees and send your tailbone back just a little bit. So you're creating a little bit of stress through the legs, through the pelvis, neutral spine. Now press your feet downward and then imagine pressing your legs outward without moving your legs. Squeeze your heels together. Okay, feel the stability of the lower body. Okay, release out of that posture. Come back to that hips width apart with your legs. And then a few coat swings. All right, let your breath normalize. Okay, let's release the movement once again. Feet under hips. Let's find that balance in both directions. Left arm presses up, right arm presses down. Firm your legs, reach. Little side bend over to the right. Keep firming your legs. Okay, now once again, we're going to ease into neutral. Let the arms go into that T shape. So think stability. Bend the knees. Send the tailbone backward. All right, so you don't have to have a very deep chair here. The key is to activate your leg muscles. So let's do that. Press your feet down. Press your feet out. All right, so feel those thigh bones wanting to press outward. And then squeeze your heels together. Feel the strength of your legs. All right, simply notice how you're breathing. Okay, now let's release out of this shape. Give the shoulders a little roll. And then let's have a balance challenge here. I'm going to place my hands on my hips, but you can find some place that works for you. Step your right toe forward, your right toes forward. Okay, so on the ball of your foot there in the front, maybe put a little tiny bend in your left leg. And then peel your toes up and place your heel down. Okay, now let's start to add on. Point your toe, lift your toe. Right, pull your toes back up towards your head. And then have that ankle movement a couple more times. Okay, pause. You can dip the toe down if that suits you. And then take that toe out to the side and then shift your weight over to that right leg. All right, so you're stretching out, you're stretching out the inside line on your left leg. Okay, ease back into the center. Find standing neutral. Step your left toes forward. Okay, lift the toes, drop the heel. And then maybe you just do this, where you switch pointing toe and dropping heel. Or maybe you're ready to lift up and point the toe, and then pull the toes back. So challenge yourself here while you're balancing and moving your foot. Right, so notice how that's a little harder than just being static and still. Okay, so option to place your toe down as you step your left leg out to the side, bend the left knee, and then stretch out the groin on the other side. All right, stretching out that liver line. Okay, let's ease out of the shape. Once again, come back into the standing neutral. And then let's have a spinal cord flow. Draw your elbows towards each other. Put a little bend in your knees. Tuck your chin into your chest here. So here's a little bit of spinal flexion. And then we're going to lift the chest, pull the elbows backwards. So now you're opening. So it's basically as a cat and cow movement. When you're ready to exhale, bend your knees, curl your chin into your chest, breathe out. Inhale, open the front body, little back bend. Take a few more rounds. Okay, release out of the movement. And we get stronger by practicing getting stronger. So let's step that right leg back into a warrior one leg. Stabilize your legs first, and then reach your arms upward. Okay, see if you can drop the ribs so that you're engaging your core. And now we're going to add a little bit of challenge to this. Drop the arms into a T shape. Bend the back knee so you're up on that back heel. So now you're in a lunge pose variation. Okay, now here's the challenge. Think about squeezing the legs towards each other. All right, feel all that activation of your leg muscles. All right, just notice what's happening in your breath. And then release your arms down. Slide your weight into your back heel. Send your tailbone backward and then ease into a pyramid shape. Notice all the little adjustments the body is making to keep you in neutral or centered. Okay, let's ease out of this shape. Step forward. And take a breath into this neutral mountain, tall and steady. Okay, let's begin the other side. Step that left leg back. Warrior one. Stabilize your legs. And then reach your arms up. Okay, drop your ribs. So this liver energy moves upward from the feet upward. And we want that energy to flow freely up and then also freely down. So it doesn't get stuck at the upper portion of the body. Okay, now let's find that grounding or downward energy. Arms into the T. Bend the back knee so you're up on the ball of the foot. Okay, here we go. Squeeze those legs together. Feel the strength of your legs. Right, the reach of your arms. And then relax your arms down and shift your weight into the back heel as you lengthen out into that pyramid shape. Trying to keep the spine in neutral. Okay, now let's ease off of that stretch. Step forward. And then let's come straight down onto the mat in one seated pose before we come all the way down. Place the bottoms of the feet together. And then use your hands to press your knees out to the sides in a bound angle. Okay, now let's energize this liver meridian. Press the bottoms of your feet together. Press your elbows downward. And then press your inner thighs into your elbows. All right, so create a little bit of tension to that inner thigh area. Okay, now let's release that tension. Draw your knees up and then come straight down onto the mat. And then let's add a little bit of rest and digest. So draw the right knee towards the body. Drop the right knee out to the side. And then start to pull that left knee out towards that armpit. Right, so that's moving into that half happy baby shape. Right, some of you can place the bottom of the foot towards the ceiling and then move into that half happy baby shape. Drop into that internal world. Become aware of what's here in the body and in the mind. Okay, let's release out of this shape. Let both knees come up. And let's take 3 rounds of that Hu breath, cooling that hot piece of food. Find your rhythm. Gather up that right knee when you're ready. Okay, pull it in towards the body, a little bit of compression in the abdomen first. And then start to drop the left knee out to the side as you draw the right knee towards the armpit. And then maybe you move into that happy baby shape. Okay, so whatever shape you've put the body in, see if you can soften the tension that you feel. Right, so maybe it's in your face or your neck or your jaw. Right, maybe it's in your shoulder or maybe it's in your hand. Just become aware of where you're holding tension. Right, so that's that digestion. And then see if you can let it go a little bit. Okay, let's ease out of the shape. Right, let your feet go a little bit wide. And I call this internal windshield wiper. Drop your right knee into the midline, and then your left knee into the midline. And it might feel like folding a shirt. right? Co-regulating your sympathetic nervous system and your parasympathetic nervous system. Moving from a relaxed place with ease. Okay, let's begin to move into stillness, moving into that last posture of class. Okay, so to help the nervous system let go just a little bit more, squeeze all the muscles of your face, your cheeks, your mouth, your eyes. Squeeze all the muscles of the face. And then slowly soften. Let your body grow heavy. Okay, open your jaw wide, stretch all the muscles of the face. And then release that stretch slowly. Let your legs grow heavy. Let your arms grow heavy. Sense the back body melting into the mat. Allow yourself to rest here in awareness, where the outer body is still and you can sense the aliveness moving inside of you. Rest. Take a deeper breath into your body. And then maybe let your intention be a positive affirmation for yourself. Okay, if you'd like to join me with closing class with 3 chants of Om, come to a tall seat. Right? This beautiful practice of yoga that allows us to find balance in our autonomic nervous system. Let's seal our affirmations. Prepare. Om. 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 The light in me sees the light in you. Namaste.